The dopamine-driven feedback loop refers to a neurological process in the brain involving the neurotransmitter dopamine, which plays a central role in motivation, reward, and reinforcement learning. This feedback loop is instrumental in shaping behavior, habit formation, and decision-making. The feedback loop begins with a cue or trigger from the environment, which can be an external stimulus or an internal thought or feeling. This cue signals the brain to anticipate a potential reward or outcome. When the brain detects a cue associated with a rewarding experience, it releases dopamine from certain areas, particularly the ventral tegmental area and the nucleus accumbens. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that acts as a chemical messenger, transmitting signals between neurons. The release of dopamine produces a sensation of pleasure and anticipation of reward. This positive reinforcement encourages the individual to engage in the associated behavior to seek out the reward. In response to the cue and the anticipation of reward, the individual engages in a specific behavior or action. This behavior can vary widely, from simple actions like pressing a button to more complex behaviors like seeking out food, social interaction, or engaging in a leisure activity. After engaging in the behavior, the individual experiences the outcome, which may or may not match their initial expectations. The brain processes this outcome and provides feedback based on the degree of reward obtained. Based on the feedback received, the brain adjusts its response and updates its expectations for future interactions. If the outcome was rewarding, the brain reinforces the connection between the cue and the behavior, strengthening the associated neural pathways. If the outcome was less rewarding or negative, the brain may modify its response to the cue in order to seek out more favorable outcomes in the future. This feedback loop forms the basis of reinforcement learning, a fundamental mechanism underlying habit formation, decision-making, and motivated behavior. By understanding the role of dopamine and the feedback loop in shaping behavior, individuals can gain insight into their own habits and motivations, as well as develop strategies for behavior change and self-improvement. When dopamine rises, so does our motivation to act. It is the anticipation of a reward, not the fulfillment of it, that gets us to take action. The greater the anticipation, the greater the dopamine spike. The habit cue triggers a specific behavior or routine, which is followed by a reward, reinforcing the behavior and making it more likely to recur in the future. The reward component of the habit loop acts as a form of feedback. When we receive a positive reward for completing a behavior, it reinforces the habit loop, making it more likely that we'll repeat the behavior in the future. This positive reinforcement strengthens the habit over time. Feedback from the outcomes of our habits can inform our future behavior. If we receive positive feedback from a habit, indicating that it's leading to desirable outcomes, we're more likely to continue the behavior. Conversely, if we receive negative feedback or encounter obstacles, we may adjust our habits or routines in response to improve outcomes. Feedback loops can increase our awareness of our habits and behavior. By paying attention to the outcomes of our actions, we can become more conscious of our habits and their effects on our lives. This awareness is essential for identifying areas where we want to change or improve our habits.